So AI is making everything more expensive. Like for example, RAM costs have basically tripled. So computers, laptops, phones, cars, smart fridges, anything that uses RAM will now be more expensive because RAM is insanely expensive now. And on top of that, AI is also increasing electricity costs. I'm sure you've seen that somewhere because it's kind of a huge deal. And when electricity costs go up, the cost of everything goes up because almost everything requires electricity to run. Because when a factory is running and operational, they use electricity to do a lot of things in the factory. And if it's more expensive to manufacture, they increase the cost of the product. And that is honestly just where it starts with AI making things more expensive. But hey, at least Sam Altman got the opportunity to lose billions of dollars. And just because AI is making everything more expensive doesn't mean your doctor has to be. I have gotten more surprise bills from doctors than bills I knew about, but that was before I used today's sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. With ZocDoc, it lets you filter for healthcare providers that are within your insurance network so you don't get any surprise bills. And if you don't have insurance, you can filter for doctors that take patients out of network, and you can save a lot of money doing that. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, or just a general doctor, ZocDoc has you covered with having over 200 different kinds of specialists. And you can easily search by specialty to build a care team that is right for you. And ZocDoc makes it easy to book an in-network appointment with over 150,000 providers in all 50 states. And my favorite thing about ZocDoc is just how easy it is to book an appointment. You literally just go to the website and find a doctor that fits your needs, and you can usually get an appointment within 24 to 72 hours, sometimes the same day if you're lucky. And there's no need to call doctors or get put on hold because everything is online, which is a huge thing for me. So stop waiting, stop guessing, and get the care you need. Go to ZocDoc.com/spatnz to book a top-rated doctor today. Thank you, ZocDoc, for sponsoring the video, and let's get back to our cyberpunk future. So AI has massively increased the cost of RAM, but why? Unfortunately, RAM is essential to make AI operate. Basically, to run an AI model, you need lots of quickly accessible memory that a CPU or GPU can access. Like for example, if you wanted to run the full-fat DeepSeek R1 open source model, you would need something like 400 gigabytes of RAM. It takes up a lot of RAM. For context, most workstations don't even have 200 gigs of RAM. It is actually incredible how much system resources these dumb chatbots use to operate. And since AI companies are such a huge customer for RAM, companies have just said, why would we sell to people when OpenAI will buy our RAM for like 10x the cost? Like Micron discontinued selling crucial RAM because AI companies are gobbling up all of the supply. And RAM costs going up means that every electronic will also go up in cost because almost every electronic needs some kind of RAM. There's even reports that phone companies will start shipping phones with 4 gigs of RAM, which is not enough RAM, by the way. Like especially on a lot of Android phones that are extremely bloated, 4 gigs of RAM is not enough RAM. And this also means that game console prices will also increase because they also require RAM. And that also includes Valve's new Steam machine. And when this was first announced, everyone was incredibly hopeful that it would cost as much as like a PS5. And I already thought that was unlikely just because of what it was. But now that RAM costs have gone through the roof, yeah, this thing will definitely cost like $800. It also would not surprise me if the PlayStation 6 costs like $800 or some absurd number. Like RAM used to be the cheapest part of the system. People would buy overkill amounts of RAM just because they can and they open a lot of Chrome tabs. But RAM kits that used to cost like $150 are now like $500. It's absurd. So pretty much every electronic to ever exist will become more expensive because they all require RAM. And on top of that, AI is also squeezing GPU costs, which have always kind of been a problem. Ever since crypto mining became a prominent thing, GPU costs have always been absurd. Like the GTX 1080 was the last good value card from the video that was actually really good for what you paid for it. You still get better performance if you buy like a 5090, but the value you get is way lower. And it's only going to keep getting worse because AI really likes expensive GPUs. Like GPUs are so crucial to AI that just recently, the US unbanned shipping GPUs to China because the US thought that if we let them have the best chips in the world, their AIs will get better. I think it did the opposite of that and forced China to make better GPUs for themselves, but that's a different video altogether. But RAM and GPUs are really just an example of electronics getting more expensive. Where does everything getting more expensive come into the equation here? Well, right now, AI increasing power costs. This is bad for literally every single price you can think of because it is undeniable that AI uses an insane amount of power. Like relative to what this stuff can do, the power usage is absurd. And one of the reasons this is a problem is because the US power grid kind of sucks. We haven't really done anything with it for like 20 years and it's kind of just stayed the same for a very long time. Our power grid is not good. It is so old and decrepit that most of the wildfires you hear about are caused by power companies not maintaining their equipment. And this is a problem because if companies want to turn on AI data centers, they need to literally build an entirely new power plant. Like we are building new power plants only because of AI. Now, I'm not opposed to building new power plants. We honestly need them, okay? Especially nuclear. I am pro-nuclear. But I don't like that we're building these power plants just for AI data centers. And I also despise the fact that our power cost is going up just to subsidize AI data centers. Because at the moment, the way utilities in the US work is everyone gets charged around a flat rate. And that flat rate is designed to have lower power users subsidize the big power users. And up until now, this has been working out okay for us. Like, our power cost in the US is relatively cheap to other countries. But since AI data centers use such a large amount of power, power companies have to build more power stations. And when they build more power stations with the sole reason of accommodating AI data centers, our power bill goes up to pay for that power station. So whenever a huge AI company builds a new data center, we are effectively subsidizing the cost of that data center by paying for the power generation for it, which is absurd, by the way. These companies are worth billions upon billions of dollars. They can pay for a nuclear reactor. It's not my problem. If Google or OpenAI wants these things to exist so badly, they should pay for it, okay? It is insane that we are subsidizing the cost of these AI data centers that no one asked for. And the biggest issue with increased power costs isn't just your bill going up, it's everyone's bill going up, because that means everything is more expensive. If the factory that makes a car has to pay more for electricity, that car costs more money. If the grocery store has to pay more for refrigeration or keeping the lights on, they will charge more for food. This increases the cost of literally everything, all to generate dumb cat images. I would be way more okay with AI existing if companies that are making it actually just paid for it themselves and did everything themselves. Like, if OpenAI actually just got a bunch of cat pictures themselves, trained an AI model off those cat pictures, and ran everything themselves, I wouldn't care. The problem I have is they're making everything worse around us, and they're not even footing the bill. And sometimes it's worse than them just not footing the bill. In some cases, they'll use AI to price fix grocery. Perfect Union put out a great video explaining how AI price fixing and price surging works. I'll link it down below. But basically, to summarize it, they're going to use AI to track you as much as possible, put you in a bucket, and then charge you whatever they think they can get away with. And this is something that Uber and DoorDash and all these apps have been doing for a very, very long time. If you look at Uber's profitability, right when they start making money is when they introduce this price fixing meta. And I don't know about you, but I think this should be illegal. This should be majorly illegal. The fact this was even done is insane, especially since in-store, they want to do this in-store too. It's especially dubious because it's groceries. It's food. People need this stuff to live. You can't just opt out of buying groceries. So AI has trained off of everyone's data and work. Like, if you wrote fan fiction, AI has probably trained off your work. If you make YouTube videos, AI has trained off your work. And now companies are trying to use AI to replace all workers, even though AI was trained off of all of their data and work. Like, AI tools would not exist if these companies didn't scrape every single thing online, okay? They just wouldn't. But then they're training those AI models off of servers that we're paying for in the form of increased power cost. And then they're trying to sell us back the AI tools they created using everyone's work, all for them to lose billions of dollars. This is the stupidest tech cycle that has existed within my lifetime. There is nothing here, and we're spending trillions of dollars on it for nothing. And I'm not even anti-AI, okay? I am anti-shitification, and I'm anti-big company. It just so happens that all these big companies are really pushing AI, and they're really not giving us any good tools. Like, AI can be a good tool. I just don't see a world where we need this much of it at all. Like, if I want to remove an object in Photoshop, AI is great for that. If I want to extend a background, AI is great for that. If you want to make a Doug video, AI is great for that. There are some genuine uses for AI. And on top of that, there is no way that any of the things I just mentioned are worth AI existing with how much worse it's made literally everything. Like, you can recognize that AI can be a useful tool and also be like, yeah, but none of this is worth it. If we could just snap our fingers and have it not exist, it would be better. Because at the moment, AI is just being used to create shitification. That is all it's doing. AI could be a useful tool, but at the moment, all it's doing is making everyone's life worse. And that's not an exaggeration. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new, and click the notification now to check out more of my content, and have a good one.